Oh my god. Wolf Children is directed by Mamoru Hosoda, co-written by him and Satoko Okudera. And Wolf Children is pretty much about a single mother named Hana trying to take care of her two kids, Yuki and Ame, who are half human, half wolf. That's all you really need to know. So this is my second review of a movie that came out during the Eigasai Japanese Film Festival earlier this year, and I knew nothing about this movie, but a bunch of my friends who are really into anime and stuff really just started raving about it. I was like, okay, I don't know what to expect, but here we go. And I watched it, and I've never been, well, I haven't been this emotionally invested in animated characters in so long, probably since like Toy Story 3 or something. This movie really got to me. And it really is just such a beautiful looking movie, also with some gorgeous visuals, gorgeous music, and a great story also at its heart. The way this movie is animated is kind of unique because there is this blend of 2D and 3D animation. While this has been done before, the way it's done here I think is just so seamless. At a certain point it looked like rotoscoping, like in that movie A Scanner Darkly, where the animators like kind of animate over live action frames, and the way things were moving in this movie felt like that. The combination of 2D and 3D really gave this movie a sense of depth and real fluidity, and really helped sell the mature tone of this movie. Because this movie, I wouldn't really say it's for kids strictly. This is a very mature story, and the way it's animated also kind of makes you forget you're watching an anime. It's great also how Yuki and Ame, when they're little kids, when they transform into wolves, they're really, really adorable. But as they get older, you also notice that their wolf forms get a bit more fearsome as they grow older. And it's interesting that Hana really kind of looks the same from beginning to end. And while at first I thought, okay, this is kind of strange, how come she's not aging? When I think about it, it really is kind of consistent with her character. And overall, I really just can't capture through words like how good this movie looks. Overall, it really just has this realism about it and the way things are portrayed. There's no one here with like really crazy hair or really fantastical landscapes that wouldn't be possible in real life. In fact, I was thinking that this movie actually could be translated to live action and wouldn't really look any different. I mentioned in my review for like Father Like Son, which was another Igasai movie, was that that movie felt a lot like a slice of life thing. It was paced kind of steadily, and this one is definitely way more slice of life. I'm not saying it's slower, but the way this movie goes on, like some people might think it's boring, but for me it never was boring for me because it really feels like you're growing up with these characters. I've never felt so attached to these people. I've never felt like I really experienced like childhood and puberty and growing up with these people. What this movie may lack in like kinetic movement, it really makes up for in character development, because there are a lot of scenes where, let's say, Hana is just trying to learn how to farm, and those scenes are kind of extensive, but at the same time you feel her struggle and you really feel like she's growing. It's great also that this movie is able to split its focus among the three characters, the three main characters, so it isn't really just about Hana. It really becomes just as much a story about Yuki and Ame, but at the same time, it all feels like one story. They're all growing together. Oh, and the music in this movie is so good. It's so incredibly emotional, and it's very present throughout the movie. But I wouldn't say it's loud or blaring at all because it is just such good music, and it's mostly piano, which is it's very sounds very delicate, but at the same time there's some vocals that come in once in a while, and these accompanying vocals are very sweet and they're very humble, and they feel very imperfect in the way that whoever's doing the vocals, like her voice is shaking and it's like struggling to reach certain notes, and it's just great. It really helps this tone. Now, what I love so much about this story in Wolf Children is that the concept, this seemingly silly concept of like werewolves, is it's explored so thoroughly, and it's taken so seriously also. And some people might think that there isn't really a central conflict throughout the story, but you realize that the central conflict is the fact that these kids are half wolf, and this mother who isn't half wolf has to kind of care for them, and this conflict is present all throughout their lives. These characters also are extremely engaging. Hana is like the nicest person ever. Like, I don't know what it is about her, but she really just kind of pushes through every single difficult situation with a smile on her face. But she's not like overly happy or anything. She really is struggling to get through these situations, but she's trying to really stay optimistic just for her kids, and that's so admirable. It's a great like role model of sorts for both kids and parents. Hana is an imperfect character and she's learning just as much as her kids. And Yuki, the daughter, she has the most typical story in this movie, but the way she kind of changes throughout this movie is it feels very real. And the same goes with Ame also. The way he changes is very genuine and he really serves as a nice counterpoint to Yuki, and all of them, like as a whole family, really like paint this really nice picture of what family means. Ultimately, this movie is about simply a mother's love, and that I think that's beautiful. And it's also a coming of age story for the other two kids, but really is about familial love, especially when you have a family like this and it's just so difficult to get through certain normal situations. Now, I watched the English dub of this movie, not the one with the Japanese voice actors, and I really can't say that much, but the voice actors who did the English dubs, Colleen Clinkenbeard as Hana, Jad Saxton as Yuki, Mika Salusod as Ame, and David Matranga as the dad, they all felt really genuine. It really felt like they were acting through their voices. It was great. And the director, Mamoru Hosoda, really like was able to strike a great balance of tone, because I can imagine when kids watch this movie, they'll still enjoy it for the animation, but adults, I think, will really enjoy this also because they will feel real concern for these characters and real fear when they're in trouble and real joy when good things happen, and it's just an amazing experience, I think, emotionally. Hosoda really knows how to make, the passage of time feel very gradual but kind of momentous at the same time. There's a scene where it just kind of shows Yuki and Ame going up through the year levels in school, and the camera just simply moves left to right, showing different classrooms, and it's a really great touch. I mentioned a while ago that this movie might be able to be translated to live action kind of seamlessly, but I think animation really was kind of the best form for this kind of story because it does seamlessly blend the fantastical with the real. I mean, on second thought, putting it into live action would be kind of, some of the elements might be a bit distracting, so it just shows that animation really is important for certain kinds of stories. If I have any problems with this movie, it's that there's some moments that are a bit anime-ish in the sense that when people say certain things, it's very kind of it's not very subtle at all. And I wanted more from the beginning and the ending of this movie, because the beginning I really wanted to know just a bit more about the father, because we don't get to know that much about him, and if I feel like if I learned more about him, I'd be able to care about him more also. Then at the ending, there's a certain character who makes a decision that kind of comes off as him being a jerk, and I get that the character is supposed to be like that, but I kind of wish it didn't come off as that. But anyway, Wolf Children is a great movie. What baffles me is that back in 2012, there's this amazing lineup of animated features up for the Oscar, and I think if they snuck Wolf Children in there, Wolf Children should have won. I mean, I know Oscars don't really mean anything for some people, but I really do think it was so good. Honestly, it's become one of my favorite animated movies of all time, and I just watched it once, so yeah. Anyway, that's my review for Wolf Children. Have you guys seen it? What do you think about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Whatever you thought, whether you agree or not, please leave me a comment. Let's have a conversation.